Alright, hello, and today I want to be reviewing the 100 Thieves versus TSM Academy game. So, starting off with the drafting phase, 100 Thieves bans Lee Sin, Irelia, and Rise, while TSM bans Zeri, Thresh, and Gwen. The Zeri and Gwen are considered standard red side bans. You kind of have to ban Zeri. You don't need to ban Gwen, but Gwen's just really strong and can be flexed into the jungle and the top lane. And Thresh is also just a generally all-around strong player. Strong champion. It works really well with Jinx and Aphelios as well. So they want to ban Thresh because if they don't ban Thresh, 100 Thieves can pick Thresh first pick. They'll let TSM get either Thresh or Aphelios or Jinx, and then they can pick the other power pick, and they'll have a good lane for it. So that's pretty standard from TSM's banning. 100 Thieves wants to ban out the Lee Sin and the Irelia and Rise. Lee Sin doesn't make too much sense because they wanted to first pick the Caitlyn. So usually if you're banning Lee Sin, it's because you want to pick the Xin Zhao first. So that's a little odd from 100 Thieves' side. Irelia also is, I know it's a really strong Viper champion, so that's why they banned that one away. Viper is just really well known on Irelia and Akali. The Rise is another interesting one. I know why Rise is still standard pretty good, but I think Victor and Corki are definitely a lot better. Now from the picks, 100 Thieves first picked Caitlyn, which I definitely like that. They're looking for a more control-heavy lane where they push in bottom lane. They try and play through the bottom lane, get a lot of turret plates. Definitely like that. TSM then responds with Jhin and Xin Zhao, which Aphelios and Jinx were both open. So I'm not the biggest fan of it. Also because Jhin suffers whenever his lane's pushed in the bot lane. The bot lane of 100 Thieves wants to push in his lane, so that's not helping too much. And they picked the Xin Zhao, though. Xin Zhao is good. 100 Thieves kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit by banning out the Lee Sin, not picking the Xin Zhao. So that was a good play from TSM. The Jhin, though, I'm not the biggest fan of. And then 100 Thieves responds with a Lux Viego. The Lux is just standard really good with Caitlyn. It's just a really strong lane. And they pair it with a Viego, which Viego's just a lot more of a comfort pick jungler. Not bad, just all around pretty alright. Good skirmishy champion that can definitely have Viego outplay moments. Then TSM interestingly picks Yumi afterwards, which I really do not like the bot lane from TSM. You see that they're pairing Caitlyn, and in response you choose a champion that doesn't like to be pushed in, and then you pair it with a support that's not going to do anything to help the ADC that's going to get pushed in. So overall, 100 Thieves is definitely playing this draft out a lot better. Alright, and now looking at the second pick ban phase, 100 Thieves now bans Soraka and Akali, while TSM decides to ban LeBlanc and Twisted Fate. So TSM's definitely looking to target ban the mid laner from 100 Thieves out, as they haven't picked it yet. Could be a Lux, but they pretty much know that this Lux is going bot lane. And as a response, 100 Thieves is banning out the Soraka and Akali. They're banning out the Soraka, so I'm assuming it's most likely for takeover in the mid lane, because Soraka mid's definitely grown. Like the people that play it, it's definitely been pretty good. I personally am a big fan of Soraka mid lane. And they also ban Akali, which I definitely favor the Akali here, as Viper is a really well-known Akali player, and he can also be flexed into the mid lane. So generally good banning from 100 Thieves. And then TSM responds, of course, with the double mage in the mid lane, just trying to pinch out the champ pool of the 100 Thieves. But they left Victor and Corki open. So I personally would have rather seen a Victor or a Corki ban instead of this LeBlanc ban. But anyways, then looking at the drafting, TSM first picks the Syndra, giving their mid laner a pretty solid early game mid laner that's gonna just do really good. And 100 Thieves blinds the Graves and the Victor. Now I really like the Victor, and I also like the Graves here. The Victor is just going to basically scale with the Syndra in lane and then outscale her outside of the laning phase. Just really standard, really strong. Victor is just really good right now. And then the Graves is also pretty good because the Graves can scale out pretty well. Can do a lot of things, but the biggest thing is Graves is pretty hard to is pretty hard to counter. So he's generally a really good blind pick. So I definitely like the drafting from 100 Thieves. And then TSM last picks the Tryndamere. Overall, I definitely favor 100 Thieves drafting. I think they played their drafting phase out really well, and they've constructed a pretty good team comp. I personally would have preferred a Poppy over the Viego. It definitely would have made their team comp shine a little bit more. But I like their team comp overall. I definitely think it's a lot better than TSM. TSM mainly blundered in the bot lane drafting. And then the Syndra, I'm not the biggest fan of the Syndra, because mainly due to the fact that the Syndra just gets outscaled by the Victor. And the Tryndamere's fine. Tryndamere's just standard pretty strong. But TSM has a really good and solid draft right now. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. Instinct is trying to push the lane in, but this is not a good spot for him. Ooh, he lands all the damage, and that's just a nice clean first blood for 100 Thieves. Yuumi is going to try and get a kill in response. Ooh, he actually managed to get it, but he's just dead there. That was a good job for Shinny trying to get a kill in return, but sadly it's a 2-for-1 in favor of 100 Thieves. Generally all around pretty good for the 100 Thieves bot lane, securing their lead. Xin Zhao is going to look to come down, but the Viego is waiting for him. That's going to be a 3v3 team fight. 3v3 fight. And the Xin Zhao goes down. Alright, so overall that's just another kill for 100 Thieves bot lane. And they'll probably get 1 to 2 turret plates off of that. Oh, they're looking for it, but I don't think they can grab anything off of that. both junglers are meeting in this bush. Hyper is chunked out. They are looking to dive onto this Viego. Viper's got to be careful. Viper did not have ult. That was a nice play for Kinvi. Getting a nice kill on Tryndamere. Now they can push in this wave. Although I don't think they can really stay. Their HP bars aren't high enough. But now in bottom lane, they already took the first turret. And they're just continuing to have lane dominance. Getting a nice CS lead over the TSM bot lane. And this is why I wasn't favoring the Jhin Yuumi lane too well, because the Caitlyn Lux can just push in the wave really hard and take turret plates, and it's really hard for a Jhin to actually take minions underneath the turret. It doesn't like to get pushed in, and the Yuumi's not going to do anything really to help him. Looks like TSM is setting up a dive onto Gamsu. He's trying to escape, but he should go down here. Ooh, but Yuumi actually died for it. So overall, it's still a trade 1-for-1. But in the mid lane, the Caitlyn actually gets a kill on the turret. And they take 2 turrets mid lane, so this is really bad for TSM. Oh. Takeover gets away, but yeah, this is just really bad for TSM. This Caitlyn is just... This is really bad for TSM though. This Caitlyn is just getting turret after turret and just getting a really big goal lead over the Jhin. Looks like they're catching out Viper. And they get another pick on the Viper. So far this Tryndamere has not been playing out the best for TSM. This is not what you want whenever you counter pick top lane. And now 100 Thieves is 8,000 gold ahead. This is not looking good for TSM. TSM and 100 Thieves are now starting to go towards the top lane. TSM is in that bush hiding, waiting for the time to strike, but 100 Thieves flashes out of the way. Hyper's going in, trying to do something, but his mid laner is just taken out. At this point in the game, the Victor is way more impactful than the Syndra. And yeah, this is just really depressing for TSM. They tried to look for a pick, but the 100 Thieves mid laner flashed out of the way just in time to avoid it. Really good play overall for 100 Thieves. And with that, they should secure the Baron. Thieves just continues to beat down and take all the turrets of TSM. They're looking to try and get a pick here, but it's just going to be a 1-for-1. TSM is slowly just getting pushed out of the game as they keep losing turrets. 100 Thieves is kind of just slapping them with their wallets. They have a really big gold lead right now, and they also have the Baron buff. It should just be game here. Yeah, TSM is going to try and stop them, but there's not too much they can do about it. Viper's going in, and he couldn't quite kill the jungler. And with that, that is a game. Alright, well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, please consider subscribing or watching one of my next videos. But until then, goodbye.